Welcome back to our second Masterclass today. So in the first one, heute der zweite Vortrag wird in Englisch stattfinden. Einfach nochmal kurz als Ankündigung. Von daher würden wir jetzt ins Englische wechseln. So welcome back to the second Masterclass. The first one has been about ideas and how to come to use cases with AI. Now we head over to possible solutions, and I'm happy to present the next presenter, Apostolos Konsolakis from Scheer IDS. So they work with software from a company you may have heard of. It's SAP. So they also have AI software, and he will present us today how they use it and how you can use it as a way to make more money with your company.
Can you all hear me and see me? Yes, perfect. So hello from my side. I want to thank you all first that you took the time to come here. Like Rafael said, thank you again for the introduction. My name is Apostolos. Feel free to call me Apo. As some of you might have guessed, I'm from Greece, from Athens more specifically. And for the next 30 minutes, we're going to talk about how the traditional decision-making model is almost obsolete. And why is this a problem? So you all see times are changing, technology is evolving, we humans are evolving, our brains are evolving, but not at the same pace, not as fast. So this is the big issue. So before we get into every topic regarding AI, before the fancy terms like deep learning, machine learning, generative AI, let's take a step back, literally. So to start, what is intelligence? Who is willing to take a guess? I'm not talking about artificial intelligence, I'm talking about normal intelligence. There is not one definition. Yes, Rita, please.
Intelligence is the ability to adapt and to solve problems in accordance to preserve oneself.
You basically said all the definitions I have prepared into one. Can't you get a gift? Oh, okay. So when we say that someone is intelligent, or that this is an intelligent solution, what exactly do we mean? Intelligent is this gentleman right here, that's for sure. So, for the purpose of this presentation, I chose the three definitions that I find the most accurate. The first one from Mark Terkmark in his book, Life 3.0. He defines intelligence as the ability to accomplish complex goals. Pretty straightforward, right? The second one from Dr. Jeff Hawkins. So this is my personal favorite. Intelligence is the ability to see patterns and predict outcomes based on previous experiences. Who can relate to this? This is how we humans act. This is how we think, right? So if, let's assume I see someone running full speed on a frozen lake. Let's assume this lake is really well frozen, it's not going to break. What's going to happen? Most probably, this person is going to fall down, right? If I see the second time, that person will fall down again. The third time I will see someone running towards the lake, I'm going to say, okay, this person most probably is going to fall down. But I'm lacking context. What if this person is an Olympian ice skater? What if they are a professional ice hockey player? I don't know this. This information is critical for me to make my prediction. More on context later. The third and last definition is intelligence is the quality that enables an entity to function appropriately and with foresight to its environment. This is what you said, Reda. So it is basically to be able to create art, to create music, or to create a complex game. It is the idea that you bring something from your mind into the material world. So now that we know what intelligence is, what is artificial intelligence? This is much simpler. Artificial intelligence is intelligence exhibited by non-biological systems. So we are all here together at this wonderful AI event. Can someone tell me when was the first documented manuscript about artificial intelligence written? Decade, not the exact year. I have 60s, 60s, 50s. In the 50s by Alan Turing, specifically 1950. So you can understand that we came a long way till then. There were barely any computers at the time. Then we made computers. Then we started programming computers. So we started from symbolic AI, which has a set of rules. It has a deterministic approach. So when computers came out, everyone was talking about how computers are smart. They can do everything. They're fast. They calculate. The truth is computers can only do three things: addition, comparison, and data transfer. That's it. Other than that, they depend on us to tell them what to do. We write the code. So we went from symbolic AI. How many of you know or remember the software called Deep Blue, the chess program that beat Garry Kasparov around the 80s? Perfect. So you can imagine that we came from this. So at the time, the whole computing power that was available to us was used for chess or for something like this. High quality chess, but chess. Now, we came all the way to generative AI, when we can just give a prompt and we can have generated text, sound, image, video, all of this combined. And what did we do with this? We asked it to make us look like a cartoon. No, I'm just joking. So if you compare where we started from symbolic AI, we came all the way to generative AI. So we went from Deep Blue to generative AI. How did the human brain evolve from the 80s until today? I mean, we are smarter. Stats show that the average IQ is higher than it was in the 80s. But can we keep up with the computing power? I think not. So now that we know what intelligence and artificial intelligence is, let's take a look at how SAP approaches artificial intelligence. Before I go into the next slide, I guess I will say a lot of hands now. How many of you have worked or have any experience with SAP? Perfect. Okay. So, SAP, as we know, as you all know, provides solutions for all operational departments. This is also the case with artificial intelligence. It bases its approach on three pillars. It needs to be reliable, it needs to be relevant, and it needs to be responsible. The responsibility we can already forget. We know about the European Union Act on AI. Relevant, also important. It needs to be up to date with all the new needs in the markets. The key point for me here is reliable. Like we said, context is key to making a good prediction in anything we do, in any aspect of the business. In every use case you can think of, the important thing is the quality of the data, the quantity of the data, and how we combine them in order to make a proper prediction. So SAP is also partnering with some key investments. For example, Google Cloud, IBM, Microsoft, Databricks, in order to ensure that it has the best of each world, so to say. Because as you know, there is not one large language model. There are too many to count. So let's start by having a look at SAP Joule. Is anyone here that have used SAP Joule? Perfect. How was your experience, if I may ask? Did you do debugging or writing code from zero? Writing code from zero. Okay. So SAP Joule is a co-pilot of SAP. Some call it the ChatGPT of SAP. It is integrated, available in the cloud systems so far. It allows business users to have this conversational interface through which they can do pretty much everything. So all of you that raised your hands, I'm sure you know of transactions and transaction codes, right? In the past, we used transactions. With the new S/4HANA, we use the Fiori apps. Now, Joule is the future. By the end of 2025, 80% of all of SAP's transactions will be able to be called through Joule. So, in the past, if someone wanted to make something in the material management, he should type the code MM01, create a new material. Now, what they can just go into Joule, type, okay, how can I make a new material? They will get directly a response. How can I make a purchase order? Where can I see my purchase orders? Where can I see my purchase orders? Not just as quantity, and then also filter them. We're done with the pics? Okay. No, take your time. Take your time. It's okay. It's okay. So then we go to the AI-assisted filter. So what is this? In the past, you had to go into the system of SAP, manually input all of the filters to get the results that you wanted from the purchase orders, from available materials, order entries, you name it. Now, we can just use English for now, I guess later more language will come, to be able to filter everything we need and get it in an even faster way. This leads us to the AI smart summarization. So what's happening here, you can summarize the results of your search and use it to cooperate with other operational departments, thus improving the company's efficiency. So how many times did it happen that someone asked you to do something in your department? Can you look up this information for me? Can you make a summary from me? Can you please bring it to me, print it, or send it to me through an email? I guess a lot. So imagine all of this hassle being away, just being able to type, okay, I want to see my purchase orders. I want to make a summary of my purchase orders. And then I want to send it to my manager through Teams. You can all see that there is a big time saving here. So, supply chain. Do we have any people working in supply chain in here? Lots of hands, perfect. Are you using currently, sir, you, are you using currently AI in your operations? No, okay. Do you know any capabilities? Have you heard something? Today, perhaps? Nothing specific. Okay, that's no problem. That's why I'm here. So, predictive material and resource planning. AI can predict demand, supply, in a certain extent. It's not yet perfect. It's heading that way, but it's not yet perfect. To be able to minimize inventory costs. What it can also do, it can do a supported outlier detection, leading to improved forecasts. So, how do we do forecasts normally? In supply chain, in finance. It's all the same logic, right? We take past data, combine them, and we try to predict the future. But data, they're lying sometimes. It's not correct. Or there are certain anomalies. So if we take a look at the past 10 years, there could be a big drop in demand in certain areas because of, let's take a random example, a pandemic. Should we take the pandemic data into consideration? I say no. Other people disagree. It depends on anyone. But in my opinion, not. Because the years of the pandemic were not the normal years. You cannot predict the near future while taking a very special occasion as your forecasting data. So what AI will do in supply chain in SAP, it will detect any anomalies, filter them out. If they are true anomalies, they will not be calculated in the forecast. If any data is wrong or poorly integrated in the system, they will also be not calculated, thus improving the forecast efficiency. So furthermore, machine learning models can make slotting rules for trucks. This is pretty self-explanatory. Then you get better loading times, less waiting times, which results in more time and more money, which is what everybody wants in the end. So have you heard of the Internet of Things? Yes, okay, perfect. So using the Internet of Things, you can also predict when your assets will go bad, when something will go bad. You told me you work with vending machines, right, Alex? Sorry? You told me you work with vending machines?
Hotel amenities.
Hotel amenities. With vending machines, or not?
No.
Someone told me about vending machines. Let's take vending machines as an example. If a company is placing strategically vending machines in spots, and they just leave it there, and they just go collect the money after each month, with the Internet of Things, there will be software inside the vending machines predicting when it's going to go bad, when a part is going to go bad, when it's going to need a service. You can take this example and apply it to your business. So the Internet of Things is something wonderful. It's something relatively new, but it's something that's coming really fast, also in this SAP world. The Internet of Things can be found also in trucks, can be found also in any asset you need, you use, that is bringing you income, and it's most probably going to go bad one way or another. You can predict it and avoid it. Finance. How many finance people do we have in here? 1, 2? No, only 2. You're the lucky ones then, I guess. How many times have you spent hours trying to find a missed invoice? Every day. How much time approximately every day? half an hour every day. So you can imagine that there will be, this is also optimistic. I've heard worse. I've heard like 2 hours, 3 hours. Depends on the size of the company, of course. So with AI in finance, a lot of AI capabilities will be embedded directly in the S/4HANA system, thus improving end-of-month closing, fraud detection, predictive forecasting, and so on. Human resources. HR people here? None. Okay. You?
Used to.
Used to, okay. One ex-HR person then. Perfect. So with Joule, which comes back to the forefront, you can do more things than just go through transactions. You can help the employees of HR with creating job descriptions, with creating generative reports on employees regarding a new position that might have opened. You can do all these things just with a chatbot. And I'm sure some of you have the question, okay, but which model is behind SAP Joule? Does anyone know? The answer is there is not one model. There are many models behind. So it could be ChatGPT. It could be... Which one do you use for programming? Do you remember? Exactly. Also this. So SAP has this multi-partner strategy in which they have a lot of models behind Joule, ensuring that you get the best for every use case that you might have. Business analytics, reporting. That's my specialty, by the way. I'm an SAP consultant. So, see a lot of pictures here, perfect. How do reporting normally works at companies? There is a data analyst or a group of business intelligence. What they do, they create standard reports that the managers ask them. Then they see these reports. Maybe they use the same data to make forecasts. It depends on each occasion, right? But how many times have it happened that you wanted to figure out a certain value, let's say, and then you have to go to your data analyst and say, hi, can you please find me this value? And then the data analyst will say, yeah, I'm a little bit too busy, but I'm going to do it. And then it takes some days, weeks. I don't want to say further. I have good faith in people. So with AI in the SAP Analytics Cloud, for those of you who don't know, SAP Analytics Cloud is the front-end reporting tool of SAP. There is this new function called Just Ask. So someone without the technical knowledge can go into the SAC and in simple English, right, show me the profit by year for FlexFit Kids classes, actual and predicted, and directly get the result without doing any data modeling. It has been done, obviously, from the technical experts. But the information now is available for everyone to query in a natural language. Business Technology Platform. How many of you have heard about the Business Technology Platform? Not many. Okay. What is the Business Technology Platform? It's a unified platform that SAP is now using where everything is based on this platform, which means the cloud systems, applications, reporting tools, every tool basically is based on the BTP. What can also be done in the BTP is to develop new applications for custom uses that work with SAP, but they don't come standard with SAP. So let's take as an example. A company is sending electricians out to customers to fix some malfunction, you name it. We can develop an app in the SAP BTP in which the electrician can say, okay, I went to this client, this was the malfunction, I fixed it or I didn't fix it. Then the data will go directly into the SAP S/4HANA and will be able to be used in further reporting or in further operations. So again, with Joule and with all these nice large language models in the background, development can be accessible to everyone. So if you don't know how to code, but you have an idea, you can just write, okay, please generate the code in this programming language about this. Or you do know how to code, but you don't have the time to learn another syntax. Again, same logic. You will go, you can bring your idea into reality by just phrasing it properly. Prompting is another thing for another day. I'm not going to get into this. So would you like to tell us some more about your experience with programming?
It was just to build a theory, so you probably would kind of have to want to develop and ask some questions about it, and then it starts to generate theory of front end.
It's that simple. It's really that simple. So as a reporting person, I'm gonna let you in as much as I can. I'm not allowed to say too much, otherwise they're gonna kill me, about the predictive forecasting that we did. So a customer of us, I cannot name any names, I can say they have a production line, they wanted to do predictive forecasting. So how was forecasting done till recently? Normally they would take the average of each season, of each month, of each week, and then estimate plus or minus some percent that this will be the new turnover. So in our case, what we did, we took all of the data from 4 years past, not just financial data. Of course, financial data, profitability, turnover, all these interesting things. But what did we say about the lake and the context? We were lacking more factors. Gas prices, inflation prices, they also play a role. If we can also predict somehow these prices, our forecast will be the most accurate. So we took all this data from the past 3 years and we tested it on the 4th year. So on the 4th year, we already knew what the turnover was, what the profitability was. After we fine-tuned the algorithm, I don't know if you can see here, the prediction was plus minus 2% correct, which in forecasting, I could say this is pretty accurate. So here we also made a regression analysis. Ideally, every spot, which is a prediction, should be on this black line. So the closer to the line, the better. And now you might think to yourself, okay, Apo, nice things that you show us, but how can I benefit from it? How can I start? What are the next steps? So what we offer as Scheer is a tool that we built in the business technology platform. It's called Scheer Predict AI, which is the most simple way to have a lot of data in one place, to be able to access it alone, and to be able to call the information anytime through Joule. So some more information about the Scheer Predict AI. It connects to the SAP Analytics Cloud, to DataSphere. DataSphere is, let's say, a cloud product for reporting where all of data is combined in one place and extracted to make reports. So it does also automation jobs. It can also give out reports to people. But again, it's highly customizable. For sure, it's used to save money and time. I cannot tell you more on this because this is highly adaptable to each case. And this is how we would like to keep it. So if you are interested in something like this, we can have a talk later because I know we will not have so much time for questions. And last but not least, let's say you don't need this. Let's say you don't need SAP at all. We would like to help because we have the expertise at SAP, but each company is different. Humans are different. There are different needs for everyone. So how can we get started to think of an idea, again, back to normal intelligence, to artificial intelligence? So how do we go about it? We, again, as Scheer, we offer a customer workshop. We call it a discovery workshop, in which we will discuss what potential needs there might be in your organization, if it's possible to resolve them with AI, if it's possible to resolve them without AI, because I know you know that now is the time and the trend that, okay, everyone says this is AI-powered, we use AI, and then in the background it's a simple if-and-then algorithm. So we don't want this to be the case. If you don't need AI, we will tell you, you don't need AI, you can resolve it like this. If you need AI, we will look at all the available options, and believe me, they are really too many, and each week, new options are coming up. So let's take an example that we had, a use case. We had a university come to us and say, we have 50,000 emails each year at the secretary, and we're only 2 people. This is not working. We need some way to filter out these emails from the students and to be able to focus on more important things. So we sat with them and said, okay, how can we go about it? So what we did, we developed an algorithm at the design phase. And we said, okay, we will take the secretary and one department of the university. So not all 50,000 emails at once, a small group. Then we programmed it in a way that it received every email. It used generative AI to recognize what type of email is this. Is it a simple question that can be answered directly? Answered directly. Is it something more complex that needs the attendance of the secretary? Forward it to the secretary. Is it something even more important? Make it in a category of its own. So after we developed this, we started using it in this department. We fine-tuned it. In the beginning, you can understand not every prototype works perfect on the first day. And after it was tuned, we finally scaled it up to all of the university, resulting in the secretary receiving around 400 emails per year from 50,000. Only the important stuff. And now we come to the end of the presentation. Thank you all for your attention. Any questions? No question. Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so I'm Alex, working for ADA Cosmetics, Hotel Amenities. Regarding the projects you're involved into, what are the pain points you noticed?
The pain points. It comes back to humans. It comes back to the mentality, we've always did this way. The, let's say, friction for change is the main point. Everything technical can be resolved. We partner with SAP, we have technical experts. All the technicalities can be resolved. The pain point is that people don't want change, or they're afraid of change. I don't know exactly what it is. But this, I would say, is the main point.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
In the use case you showed, I saw a lot of Excel screenshots, and I think it was RStudio. So did you only use SAP data to do this use case, or also did you use SAP technology to develop it?
We used SAP data, developed the algorithm in R, good point. Then we implemented it in the SAP BTP. So we actually brought it into the SAP. Then it remained there as standard, and now it can be used for another predictive forecasting.
Hi. Oh. Rita Balko, Vodafone Procure and Connect. My question is, do you have any suggestion to companies who want to embark on implementing AI, but struggle with clean master data? Not necessarily our company, but we notice this with a lot of our suppliers that...
With clean master data?
Yes, because we all know that AI requires clean data to be able to train on.
I mean, the priority would be to clean the data in this case.
But those who struggle with that, how can they start this?
Again, by cleaning their data. This should be the number one focus before talking about AI, that they need to clean up their master data. Otherwise, I can bring you the best technology. It's not going to work.
So we come to the friction with humans back to.
Exactly, yes.
Thank you.
Back there was a question, right? Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Torben. I'm from Attentos. We're a small marketing company in Bremen, so a little far from here. So I just wanted to follow up on the first question. So you said the biggest pain point is the humans resisting AI, so to speak.
Not exactly AI, not specifically AI. Okay. Change.
The change, yeah. So what experience did you make? Like how did you convince people, or how did you make sure it's being used like for a longer time? Because my experience was that you can tell people about it, you can try to educate them, but they will fall back into their own behavioral patterns and stop using it and so on. I'm not sure if that's really your job, but I thought maybe you had some.
It's part of my job. It's part of my job. So going completely away from artificial intelligence into human interactions, right? People often act based on emotion, more often than not. When they resist change, there is something holding them back. The key is to talk with them, dig deep, as we say, and figure out why they don't want this change. Are they afraid that they're going to be obsolete as employees and that they're going to lose their jobs? Could be, right? So if someone is a developer, for example, and then I come and say, look, I can just write, make me a code for this, then they will say, okay, what is this? What am I going to do? Am I just going to go out because this new fancy AI is generating code? But I like to use the example of theater and cinemas and actors. You know, in the beginning, actors, when they were playing on theaters, they were saying, okay, the cinema is coming out, we're going to be out of job. No. There will be a place for the developers in our case, because not everyone can be a developer. Maybe I have good ideas, you know, but maybe my brain is not working with this programming logic. So yes, I will be able to use a tool, but I'm going to have a smaller potential than a developer, in our case, with this tool. Did I cover you? So basically, just dig deep, find the reason behind this resistance. Depends.
We have time for one more question. Anyone? Yeah.
Yeah, Nadja Kolmer, Deutsche Telekom IT GmbH. For me, it's really important. It's a high invest for every company doing AI and so on. I don't know if you especially know this, but how do you measure the success of this invest? How are the efficiency? Are our people more productive and so on? Do you have dedicated dashboards for this?
Yes. So again, every case is different, every company is different, every department is different. So we could have a really old-fashioned department doing things in the most old-fashioned way as possible, implement some new solutions, they will have the maximum result, right? When you compare them to someone who is relatively up-to-date and just wants to be optimized. So it's not really a criteria to say, okay, these people are doing things 50% faster, or 50% more efficiently, and then to say the other ones that they are 10% faster, that they did not improve. It also depends where you start. So there are KPIs about everything, really. Depends on which department, depends on which operations you want to ensure. But for example, what I can see in our company day to day, how much more calm the people in finance are, that they are using the AI to do end-of-month closing, and they don't have to go through all of the invoice and say, I'm missing this, I'm missing this. They find it easier. Something more productive. I'm sure everybody knows, like, there's always something to do.
Thank you very much for your helpful insights. It was really interesting.